This is the all-new Realme 9 Pro Plus, a mid-range smartphone with a flagship camera sensor and optical image stabilization. The OIS is a feature which is mostly seen on flagship and value flagship smartphones. Then how come Realme managed to offer it in under Rs 25,000 along with a phone that offers a good spec sheet and impressive day-to-day performance? Let's try to find this out, but before that, let's check out the box accessories. So once again, a yellow color box for a Realme smartphone. This is the all new Realme 9 Pro Plus. Let's just open the box. So the first thing is a cardboard, and let's just open it to find out what we have here. And so here you can see a silicone case. This is a normal looking case, a very basic one with a black shade, and this should offer some degree of protection to your smartphone. Then we have some documentation, a quick start guide, and a manual, so you should keep it handy if you are buying Realme smartphone for the first time. Then we have a SIM card ejector tool here, a very handy accessory. And then we get the Realme smartphone. Let's just open it quickly. And here we have the Realme 9 Pro Plus. And let me tell you that this back panel changes color when ultraviolet rays fall on it. We will give you a quick glimpse how it happens in real time. But since we are going to focus on the camera performance of the smartphone, we will talk about the other performance aspects in a different video for this particular handset. So then let's find out what else we have here. We have 65-watt super dart charging brick, and then we have a Type C to Type A charging cable. There are no headphones in the box, so you have to purchase them separately. That will cost you some extra bucks. So here we have the smartphone. We have a super dart charging brick, a Type C to Type A charging cable, and a SIM card ejector tool in the box if you buy the Realme 9 Pro Plus. Coming back to cameras, the Realme 9 Pro Plus has a triple lens camera system featuring a 50 megapixel main camera with Sony IMX766 flagship sensor. This lens supports both optical image stabilization and electronic image stabilization and comes with some mighty claims. The main lens is supported by an 8 megapixel wide angle sensor and a 2 megapixel macro sensor. The camera system is loaded with software features to help you make the most out of this feature heavy camera hardware. Now let's check out some camera samples. The cameras on the Realme 9 Pro Plus capture lively pictures if you have good natural light and vivid subjects. Contrast seems spot on and the dynamic range is excellent. These pictures look as good as shots captured on any flagship smartphone. Check out the yellows and blues in this indoor shot with abundant sunlight coming from the top. The colors look even livelier if you have enabled the AI toggle. However, it makes the overall pictures look highly saturated and edited. Check out these two images. The first one is captured with the AI mode disabled. I would recommend you to disable the AI toggle if you prefer natural looking images. Importantly, almost every image shot on the handset look a bit over processed. It's almost like the camera software is applying a vivid filter to the shots you capture from all three lenses. Sharpness goes off-board and colors look very artificial. Things get worse if you start zooming in on the pictures. Realme really needs to fine-tune their camera software to deliver a more neutral smartphone photography experience. Coming on to the headline feature, the optical image stabilization, it let us down big time. The video feed looks as jittery as they come out on any phone with no OIS. If you are solely going to buy the handset for the optical image stabilization, you would be disappointed big time. Isn't it ironical? The headline feature, which is one reason for the price hike of this smartphone, is mostly flawed. Moving on, the 1080p EIS videos are pretty smooth and despite their cropped form factor, look better than the jerky optically stabilized videos. It is a low-light photography that seems to be taking the true benefit of the optically stabilized lens. These images were taken in almost no light scenario and I still can't believe that this mid-range phone has managed to pull so much of details and the dynamic range. I was able to see the faces of these hardworking women on the phone's display as there was almost no natural light when I took this particular shot. Even the wide-angle images turned out pretty bright with the night mode enabled. You could see the hills and trees in the background which were not visible to the eyes while present at the scene. Noise does creep in and images also show some more sharpness and a warmer overall tone in the low light, but that's acceptable for the phone at its asking price. The Realme 9 Pro Plus could be a good camera device for landscape photography, especially if you are at a scenic place. The wide-angle camera captures a good 119 degrees field of view, impressive dynamic range, and decent details for an 8 megapixel sensor. Similarly, portraits also come out pretty good even though the phone lacks a dedicated bokeh sensor. The background blur looks natural, but it is worth mentioning that you have to be careful about the distance between the camera and the subject. Thankfully, the images don't lose out on colors and the dynamic range. The macro shots are below average and fail to impress. A 5 megapixel macro sensor would have done a far better job at this price. These 2 megapixel macro sensors are nothing but marketing gimmicks. Realme smartphones are loaded with interesting and useful camera software features. There are 13 filters for the standard photo mode, another 13 for the portrait photography, and 12 filters for video recording mode. You also get a very well crafted street mode with support for both JPEG and RAW format. Besides, you can capture 50 megapixel high resolution pictures, record time lapse videos, slow motion videos, capture panoramas, and scan text. The camera app also offers a well-designed pro mode for both still photography and video recording. The tilt shift mode is another very useful mode that lets you capture such nice looking dreamy pictures. Lastly, you can also capture some distant celestial objects like stars with the help of starry mode, but you would need a tripod and a clear sky. And most importantly, the camera is pretty good at taking still shots and recording videos with all such software features. It doesn't feel sluggish and takes pictures without any delays. So guys, overall the Realme 9 Pro Plus has managed to impress us with its camera performance, except the optical image stabilization. I wish the brand had skipped the OIS and had offered a 13 megapixel wide angle lens plus a 5 megapixel macro sensor. This could have made the Realme 9 Pro Plus the ultimate camera phone in the mid-range price bracket. If you want to see camera samples shot on any particular camera mode on the Realme 9 Pro Plus, let us know in the comments. This is Rohit Arora signing off, and keep watching Tech on Gizbot.